Hey guys, Megan with another YouTube video. Today we're going to be restarting a series in a much better format that I started long ago, but I never really completed. Today we're going to be restarting the LDD tutorials series in a much better way, and I've definitely matured in how I've been using LDD and getting shortcuts and everything like that down. So today we'll be restarting that process, and it will be much shorter videos and more of them and more kind of in-depth than what they were before. So when you first open LDD, that's what we'll start with today. So it's going to load like so. In another video, we'll be taking a look at some of the issues that you might have, and what you'll have is what you see in front of you. The only difference between mine and yours, if you're brand new to LDD, is that you should not have anything in this bar right here. These 6 guns that you see here would not be there. No models should be there if you're brand new to LDD itself. So the first thing that we're going to take a look at before anything else is actually the three different modes of Lego Digital Designer itself. So currently I'm in the blue tab of Lego Digital Designer. This is literally the name of it is up at the top right here. It's just called Lego Digital Designer, which is fine. There are 2 other modes here that we'll be talking about and looking at in their own separate videos. Today, I simply want to look at just the first one, the blue one, Lego Digital Designer, and explaining in a brief version of the differences between the 3 of them. So we'll start by explaining the 3 different differences between all 3 of these, and then we'll get into Lego Digital Designer itself, as opposed to Lego Mindstorms or Lego Digital Designer Extended. So this blue tab here, the only difference between all 3 of these is actually the brick palette itself. The brick palette is this thing right back here, and between the 3 different versions of this, the brick palette will change. That's the only difference between all 3 of these. So in today's video, we will be taking a look at Lego Digital Designer itself and its main primary purpose, if you want to call it that. So we will be actually clicking on free build down here. We will not be taking a look at any other files or anything that we made. This is a tutorial for people who are brand new to Lego Digital Designer entirely. So we click free build and we go to the screen here. This is completely blank canvas and we have no idea what exactly we are looking at. So my goal is that in various other videos, we'll be taking a look at everything you see on your screen entirely. For this particular video, we're just talking about Lego Digital Designer. As a brief overview, all of your main tools are up here along the top. There's a couple different tabs here to click through and a couple buttons down here to click through as well as around the actual scene itself here. There are a few buttons that you can press. So just a very brief overview for the sake of someone who's entirely new. We'll get into all these tools and what they do in other videos as we go. You have your home button. If you press this, it just takes you back to the previous page, really. There's nothing too complicated with it. If you have a brick in scene, this save button pops up here, so you can actually press that to save this model and follow the prompts there. If you'd like to undo what you just do, you can press this button and that brick will disappear. It's pretty simple. If you'd like to bring that brick back, you can press this button and it will come back. Again, really simple. This is your single selection tool, but there's a myriad of different versions of selection tools that you can see down here. These are all worthy of their own individual videos, so we will be doing that later on down the line. This is the clone tool. This duplicates pieces. Pretty simple. This is the hinge tool. This can be used to turn things. Again, pretty simple. Quick disclaimer, I don't have my mouse, so if you hear me click at all, it's because I'm using the trackpad on the laptop. So I really apologize. I thought I had my mouse like I needed to, but I don't, so I apologize. This is the hinge align tool. It's a very buggy tool. I don't recommend using it if you don't have to. Again, all of these will have their own video. Flex tool, it bends things. paint tool, this changes the color of things, which is another partial difference between Lego Digital Designer and the other modes that we can get into in a little bit. The hide tool, which makes things disappear, but you can bring them back. And the delete tool if you just want to get rid of everything, like so. Build mode is what we are currently in. So if we bring these two pieces back, build mode is what we're currently in. A view mode changes the view into a myriad of different backgrounds that they have. They're all really basic and all pretty bad looking. Explode mode makes things explode and then come back. It's pretty simple. Really nothing to it. Eventually these two pieces are going to come back. I'm not going to sit around. Oh, they came back. I wasn't going to sit around and wait for them, but they came back. And then building guide mode, it generates actual building instructions, and you can use them here. Again, all of this will go through its own video because it's all worthy of its own video. Now we have the actual brick palette itself. This is where we get all of our bricks from. You can scroll up and down as you can see here. And you can go to templates. And templates are complicated, so we're not going to get in that today. The best way that I can explain templates is it's a very permanent way of having the same things repeated. Groups is grouping things together. Again, worthy of its own video. We're not going to talk about it today. Down here at the bottom, we have the expand all dividers tab, which expands every single divider that we have inside of the brick palette. So these are called dividers. If you click on it, it opens up and you get all your bricks. If you want all of these open at the same time, it's very easy. You just press this button instead of having to come through and open up every single one of them individually. If you want to filter bricks by color, this is also possible. So if you needed only red pieces, you can click on this and it will give you only red pieces, which is, it's useful if that's what you want to do, but I don't recommend you do it that way. I recommend something else, but we'll leave that for a separate video. So if we just click hide colors, this goes, remove filter. There we go. If you hit remove filter, it goes back to the standard every single color possible here. There we go. All right, I got it. I just having a little bit of difficulty there. You can tell I don't use this mode. Filter bricks by boxes is the most useless thing that you ever do. I can literally overview this entire button in this one video. You have LDD and you have Hero Factory. If you click on Hero Factory, the only pieces available to you inside of your brick palette are from Hero Factory. That's how simple this is. And then you just remove filter and it goes back to LED. Boom, done. It's that simple. This slider here is actually pretty helpful. If you notice, I have these pieces relatively big so you can see them. If you have better eyesight than I have, you can actually zoom out and you can get 4 pieces coming in all the way up to 5 pieces coming all the way in, if you felt like it. If you wanted to get even more pieces on screen at once, you can click on the little bar and you can actually drag this out. You can get this pretty far. It's kind of ridiculous how far you can get this. And it makes this really small over here, but you can always zoom in and you get to see a whole bunch of pieces here. If you want to work like this, it's definitely possible. I don't recommend it, to be completely honest with you, but that's just me. If that's what you guys want to do, that's fine. I have old man eyes, so I personally like them to be on the biggest ones, and that's just me. In terms of actually navigating the scene itself, it's pretty simple. You've got these little buttons over here that you can press to go up and down. Again, sorry for the trackpad noises. This particular one, it resets back to only the bricks that you have placed in the scene. So if you are, let's say, oh boy, that was bad. If you're way over here and you can't see the bricks in the scene anymore, you can press this button and it will jump to everything. If you have a piece way over here and you're zoomed in on this one piece, if you press this, it'll go to where these are touching the edge of the screen on both sides, which is, again, it's a pretty simple concept to understand, not too difficult. If you want to zoom in and out, you have this as well. There's a couple other ways to move around the screen, but you kind of have the basics down at this point. Again, this video is specifically on the Lego Digital Designer mode, the blue tab when you get to the home screen itself. So if we just close out of this, we're specifically focusing on Lego Digital Designer in this one video. And I know that I'm inundating you with a lot of information, but this video is specifically about Lego Digital Designer and what makes it stand out between these two other tabs. So all of the tools that I just mentioned between the three modes are all almost the same. The only tool that differs between Lego Digital Designer and Lego Digital Designer Extended is the paint tool itself. Inside of, let me back up here. Let's go to just normal brick palette and the difference there. The brick palette inside of Lego Digital Designer itself, the blue tab, is going to show you, if you don't filter it, all of these bricks in every single color. If we're going to make this easier on ourselves, let's just do this. It will show you every brick in every color available to you. That does not necessarily mean that you can buy these pieces in every single one of these colors. It's just showing you every brick in the colors that are available to you inside of Lego Digital Designer. The problem with that is you can see that there are bricks repeated up here. All of these are one by one bricks. You have the solid colors, you have the printed pieces, you have the transparent pieces. The metallic pieces, if there are any, will be included in here as well, but they're rare and few and far between. And that's not very efficient. If you were to be usually like I am, zoomed all the way in here with the smallest possible brick palette, I have to scroll quite a bit before I get to my 1x2s, and then I got to scroll past all my 1x2s before I get to my 1x3s. So if I'm way down here at the bottom looking for a 2x6, I've got to scroll past quite a bit to actually get to that. Again, this is easily solved by using the filter bricks by color down here, but I'd rather not have to deal with that, so I usually don't. Another difference in the blue tab against the black tab, we're really not going to talk about the white tab, to be honest with you guys. That video is going to be incredibly short. Is that these bricks will also show you all the printed bricks available as well. So you can see these one by one bricks. If you right click, you'll actually be able to turn these inside the brick palette in case you need a better view. You can see that this has the eye on it, and this too also has the eye on it. Pretty basic stuff. If you come down here, the tiles, you have the 1x1 gauge here. If you get down to the 1x2s, you can see all the computer consoles and stuff that they have going on. It will show you every single version of that inside of the blue tab itself. Again, that adds to the amount of bricks that you have inside of the brick palette, which you have to scroll through more or you have to filter through more, which I believe bogs down on the creative process. So I personally do not use the blue tab in Lego Digital Designer, except for very few occasions where I'm looking for a very specific printed piece. I actually don't think there's any inside of here, but if we come up to here, there's probably none in here either. I should have used these slopes. So if we come to slopes, that's better. If we scroll down here, you can see there are computer consoles in slopes as well. Sometimes I'm looking for a very specific one. This will show you every single one that's available inside of Lego Digital Designer. There are no hidden printed pieces between the Lego Digital Designer, Lego Mindstorms, or Lego Digital Designer Extended. There are no printed pieces hidden. If you'd like to get an idea of what the printed pieces are inside of Lego Digital Designer, I would recommend going to the blue tab and just looking underneath that for all the printed pieces and kind of memorizing which pieces can be printed and which parts can't. It's relatively simple. So that is one of the main differences between the blue tab against the white or black tab. Another main difference is actually the paint tool itself. This is one of those few tools that actually changes in how it works comparatively to the black tab. The paint tool in the blue and white tab work exactly the same, but when you get to the black tab, it changes. It's actually, in my eyes, more useful in the black tab if you know what you're doing. but some people might not like it entirely too much and might prefer the use of the blue or white tab. So for this video, we're going to describe how the paint tool works inside of the blue tab and how it works inside of the white tab, because it's the exact same. So if we open this up and we say that we want a green 1x1, and we put this out and we make this beautiful castle wall style of defense right here, just like this. And I decide that this color scheme is a little too bland for my taste. I don't like how this color scheme is working for me. I want to add a little bit of diversity in the shape by adding some different colors to it. Instead of having to delete each of these pieces out of the model and replacing the color that I wanted, instead I can come to the paint tool, and now I can click on any of these pieces. Wow, this is incredibly awkward. Does this no longer work the way that I thought it did? I don't know if that's a bug or not, but it shouldn't be. This is awkward. Man, we're only one video in and having a horrible time. Yeah, I think this might be a bug then. Use the paint tool to change the color or material of bricks in the scene. That's what I should be able to do, but instead I cannot. That's interesting, but I can hopefully explain what should be happening. So what should be happening when you use the paint tool inside of the blue or white tab is that when you click on this box, a dialog tab like this is going to pop up with all the available colors of the 1x1 tiles. So if you're like me and you are looking at something and you press this button so that this view here becomes bigger, you can't no longer see any of these. So you come up here and you press the paint tool, you press this, and a big dialog box is going to pop up beside the brick that you pressed, and it will reveal all the other colors inside of a dialog box separate over here. And then you would click on one of those colors and it would change the color of the brick inside the scene. Again, I don't know why it's not working here. It should be working, but it's not, which is incredibly interesting. I'm not entirely sure, but that's what it should be doing. And opposed to those two things, the brick palette having all of the bricks available and their colors and printing, and the paint tool, the blue tab and black tab and white tab are relatively all the same. So again, this video was just on the blue tab itself. In terms of general opinions on the blue tab itself, I do not recommend using the blue tab at all. Not only does the paint tool not work, which is kind of a big deal, but the efficiency going on in the brick palette is degraded in my experiences using the brick palette over here. Again, that problem that I have with this, it's just my opinion, and it can easily be fixed by just coming down here and pressing this filter bricks by color portion. You'll find out later on down the line that what you're looking at now with this filtered by red is actually kind of what it looks like inside of LDD Extended, the black tab. But for the sake of this video, again, the blue tab itself, I do not recommend using. Do not use the blue tab. That's it for the first video in our revamped LDD tutorials, now using a much better microphone, other than my horrible trackpad tapping. Again, I apologize for that. Better screen recording software instead of just my mom's old video camera pointed at the screen. Oh my goodness, I've definitely finagled a whole bunch of stuff for YouTube. But Hopefully this video finds you very well. Hopefully you guys do not use the blue tab at all. And I'd like to start a trend in these videos by saying that your creativity in using these tools is the only limit to what you can do inside of LEGO Digital Designer. I like to start saying that phrase over and over again because the more creative ways that you find to use the tools inside of LEGO Digital Designer, the easier your life will be. You'll be surprised how easy this program really is. So thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to comment, rate, and subscribe for more videos similar to this one. I'll see you guys later in another LDD tutorial or gun review video. We'll see what the future holds.